Doing marketing is not just limited to marketing activities or advertising. The real purpose of why people do marketing is to sell products. Marketing is not something that just appeared now. It has existed since a long time ago. So today I will summarize all the marketing tactics that I have found. And of course, the information we have collected and compiled comes from many sources, so if there is anything wrong or needs correction, please kindly comment below. Planned obsolescence or strategic obsolescence or calculated obsolescence. Simply put, brands will intentionally make their products broken or outdated after a certain period of time so that they can sell new products. It's like those cases where Apple intentionally updates software to slow down older iPhones. And this will achieve the ultimate goal of marketing, which is to sell products. Loss leader. This is a strategy when a brand lowers the price of product A to target the customer's psychology of being greedy for cheap stuff, loving promotions. However, to use product A properly, you need to buy product B. Usually product B will be extremely cheap compared to A, but when combined together, the total price may even be higher than the original price of the product before discount. For example, the iPhone decides to reduce the selling price, but to use it, you have to buy the charger separately, the earphones separately, or like those programs where you buy detergent, toothpaste, and get a free cup, but the selling price itself has already included the cost of that cup. Similarly, we have the tactic razor and blades business model. This idea comes from selling razors. The razor itself is quite cheap, but to use it, you need to buy blades. The blades are not too expensive, but you have to buy them many times. So users will have to regularly spend money on blades, from which the seller makes a lot of profit. Vendor lock-in, or supply lock. This is a tactic that brands use to lock customers inside their ecosystem, making it difficult if customers want to use products from other companies. A typical example of vendor lock-in can be seen in tech companies like Apple. Transferring data from iPhone to iPad, MacBook is super smooth, but transferring data from MacBook to a Windows computer is boring as hell. Sometimes when transferring PowerPoint or Word files, all the fonts get messed up. Then you also have to use a separate charger, and if you want to switch to another brand, you have to buy another charger. As a result, many people get used to that brand and become too lazy to switch. Anchoring effect. This is actually a psychological effect applied in marketing, based on the fact that people often tend to make decisions according to the first piece of information they receive. And based on that psychological effect, sellers often apply the trick of offering a product at a high price and then discounting it, making buyers think it's a bargain without considering whether the discounted price actually matches the value of the product. Generally speaking, on average, all e-commerce platforms, especially sports items like badminton rackets or football shoes, often do this. I don't know how it is abroad, but in Vietnam, shops often play this trick. Anyone who only buys once in a while will definitely get caught when checking prices. Another way of applying this is that the brand will launch two similar products, but one is ridiculously expensive and the other is quite cheap. The purpose is to guide buyers to choose the cheaper product. Decoy effect. True to its name, a person's choice will be influenced by a decoy option, and this option is usually unattractive, so people will end up choosing another specific option. For example, when buying a meal, there are two options, $10 and $20. Normally, people will choose the $10 meal because it's cheap and enough to eat. Fat guys like me might go for the $20 one. However, if too many people buy the $10 meal, the profit margin is small, so the restaurant will add a $17 option. This $17 meal only has slightly more food than the $10 one. Then customers will be like, damn, the $17 meal is crap, better spend $3 more and get the $20 one. And just like that, more people buy the $20 meal. Another example I often see is electronics. For instance, when you go buy a laptop and tell the salesperson your budget is about $1,000, they will show you some models suitable for your needs and wallet. At the same time, they will add, actually, if you could stretch 2 to 3 hundredths more, I have this machine that is much more durable, powerful, and stable. In short, they put into your head the thought that just spending 2 to 3 hundredths more will get you a much better product. Rebranding. This is a method where brands make some changes to fit the market and the company's goals. On a small scale, it could be launching new products or changing the logo design. On a bigger scale, it could be merging two brands, or even bigger, completely tearing down and rebuilding. In some cases, rebranding creates differentiation and increases recognition against competitors. For example, Pepsi and Coca often change logos to compete with each other, or when wanting to target new customers and expand markets, like Facebook changing its name to Meta to expand into the metaverse. Or a brand changing its business model, like Apple transforming from a computer manufacturer into a full tech devices company. Another case is from Xiaomi. Xiaomi would publish articles like, changing logo costs a lot but doesn't really change much. And then people start talking, mocking, laughing. But ironically, those very actions unintentionally increase brand recognition and make more people know about them. Forced free trial. Free trial usage. This is usually applied to paid software or apps like Netflix, YouTube Premium. These give you about 1 month free trial, but after that, if you want to continue using, you have to pay. Some apps have a separate trial version and main version. The trial version may not have a time limit, but its features are extremely limited, making it very frustrating to use. And if you want all the features, you have to cough up money. A typical example is ChatGPT. The free trial only allows you to ask a certain number of questions. After that, it switches to a dumber version. If you want it to be smart again, either you wait a few hours for it to recharge, or you cough up money. Point of sale, meaning the checkout point. This is the place where people stand the longest when buying things. At checkout, when there's nothing else to do, people tend to look around and notice things nearby. It's like going to the toilet without a phone. Then you end up grabbing a bottle of Vim cleaner and reading the chemical ingredients and instructions. That's why stores often display promotional items, high-margin products, bestsellers, etc., like cheap, convenient items such as batteries, masks, lighters, or add-on goods. Specifically, stores like Circle K, Vinmart, since people usually buy instant noodles there, the checkout counter will sell eggs, sausages to go with it. Clothing stores at checkout will sell underwear, socks, towels, face cloths. In general, it stimulates impulse buying from customers. Soft music. Sounds unrelated, but this is the reason why supermarkets and shopping malls play music. This helps customers feel more relaxed, and when emotions are relaxed, people are usually less hesitant to spend money. Blind taste tests. This method is often used for market evaluation. Brands let customers try products, but don't tell them what the products are. From that, they can evaluate which product is more preferred. However, it is also used in marketing to compare one's product with competitors. A typical example is the Pepsi challenge in the 1,970 seconds, 1,980 seconds. Consumers were given 2 unlabeled cups, one with Pepsi and one with Coca. The results showed that many people preferred Pepsi. But in reality, this was organized by Pepsi, so if someone preferred Coca, they would just cut that out. But this trick is not very fair play, and people are aware of it now. So big brands don't use it much anymore, only for mocking each other. Subliminal advertising. This is advertising based on the subconscious, originating from a psychological technique using visual and auditory stimuli through small images or unclear sounds to put information into the subconscious. Sounds fancy, but this is why brands sneak ads through movies, music videos, like when Son Tung subtly put the Bitus Hunter ad, and the ad image only flashed by for a moment. Sometimes nobody even notices. Hidden advertising. These are ads that are embedded into some kind of content so that users don't feel like they're watching an advertisement. I find this quite similar to subliminal advertising, usually applied through movies or music videos. The difference is that with subliminal advertising, the viewer almost doesn't even know there's an ad. While with hidden advertising, the viewer can actually recognize the product right away, but it doesn't feel as annoying as watching a direct commercial. It's like those music videos or Tiki, Shopee delivery scenes. Stealth marketing, also called undercover marketing or buzz marketing. This one is quite similar to subliminal advertising in the sense that it makes customers unaware that they are watching an ad. I couldn't find a clear definition of it, but it works like this. Fashion brands sponsor clothes for singers who just need to wear them when performing or in music videos. Or tech brands invest in big streamers, from chairs to keyboards, and from the fame of these people, the products are naturally promoted to the viewers. Ambush marketing, casually called the ambush tactic, taking advantage of major events or campaigns of competitors to draw attention to oneself. An example is the case between Nike and Adidas. Adidas was the official sponsor of the 1996 Olympics, but Nike put up its ads all around the stadium and sponsored famous athletes. As a result, viewers also paid a lot of attention to Nike. Foot in the door technique, I think this one leans more towards sales than marketing. In this, the seller first introduces a small, easy-to-sell item and then brings out a bigger, related item. It's like selling in combos. Call to action, using a direct call to stimulate customers. It's those kind of prompts like, "What are you waiting for? Buy now," or "Download now," or "What are you waiting for? Like and subscribe to Lou's video, you won't get anything, but it makes me feel good." Channel stuffing, roughly translated as stuffing the distribution channel, or more simply, pumping sales numbers. Basically, it's the trick of inflating the number of items sold. Companies often use it to raise stock value and trick shareholders and investors, but it's also widely applied in marketing. Online shops often use this trick to increase credibility with customers and get recommended more on platforms. Like when people shop on Shopee, they always check the number of items sold. If a product has few sales, it's likely fake. If many sales, people assume others bought it too. So even if everyone else was tricked, you don't mind being tricked too. On-hold messaging, or waiting messages. These are the ads or music that play when you call customer service and hear the hold music. Anyone who often calls to book bus tickets probably knows this. Doorbuster deal. Simply put, the store drops the price to rock bottom for a short time, playing on the fear of missing out. Fear that if you don't buy now, there won't be a good deal later. If it looks familiar, it's basically those flash sales. Home staging, mainly used in real estate. You usually see this with people selling houses or landlords renting rooms. Specifically, before selling, they clean up and arrange everything nicely, then post the best photos. Especially with student rentals, I think they also apply the method called wide-angle lens. Take a photo and the room looks twice as big. 15 square meters looks like 30 square meters. Introductory rate or preferential interest rate. This method is often applied by banks to encourage people to borrow money with extremely low interest at the beginning, then returning to the standard rate if it's a normal bank. As for loan apps on Facebook, chances are they'll increase until you're dead. Tie-in work. I call it spin-off products. Brands collaborate with big events, usually movies or popular games, to create spin-off products to promote their brand. For example, CGV selling cups tied to movies like Minion Cups, Marvel Cups, or Coca collaborating with Marvel to release a bunch of Avengers cans. Or, whenever an anime becomes famous, a few months later you'll definitely see people selling character figurines. Wait. Marketing, meaning approaching customers while they are waiting for something. This is the time when they're most curious and focused on surrounding things, so it's the easiest time to deliver information. Basically, advertise on buses, bus stops, airport waiting screens, gas stations. I find it quite similar to point of sale. Behavioral targeting, collecting and analyzing consumer behavior data to display ads or suitable content. Online social media advertising, fly posting. It's like those flyers plastered all over electricity poles or walls around universities. This method is usually done by small businesses, often with things like concrete drilling or lottery ads. Word-of-mouth marketing, advertising by word of mouth. This really is word-of-mouth advertising, which is why many shops ask customers to check in or post on Facebook to get promotions. Four-wall distribution, focusing on selling at the main store instead of through intermediaries. Like each brand will have its own store that only sells that brand's products, such as Apple Store. People will be like, hey, if you want to buy this, you have to go to the Apple Store. And from that, Apple stores are remembered as the unique place with that product. Free lunch. This term appeared around 1,870 inches the US, when taverns at the time built their brands by giving free lunch to customers who came to buy drinks. Nowadays, many hotels also apply this method, offering free breakfast buffets to guests. Sounds like a loss, but in reality, people usually don't eat much breakfast anyway, and the cost is already included in the room rate, so they don't actually lose money. Essentials in the back. This method is often used in supermarkets. Essential products are usually placed at the end of the store and spaced far apart. Customers have to walk past non-essential items, which they might not buy, but at least they'll notice or suddenly realize they need them. Advertising slogan. These are short, easy-to-remember slogans that highlight product features. Some common advertising slogans you'll see on shopping apps are things like free shipping or nationwide delivery. Annoyance factor. Brands will insert elements that annoy users. Some common ones are repetitive ads or ads that pop up while you're watching content. The most typical example is mobile game ads. In recent years, I've seen this type a lot. They just keep popping up. The gameplay looks easy, but when you actually play, it's ridiculously dumb, which annoys people so much that they end up downloading the game just to try it out. Celebrity branding. Leveraging the image of celebrities to show the credibility of a product. Basically, the idea is that if someone famous endorses it, the product must be trustworthy. Cereal box prize. These are prizes or toys you get when buying a product, like the toys inside the snacks we used to eat as kids, or the gifts inside milk boxes, mainly aimed at attracting children. Consumer-generated advertising. Ads created by the users themselves. Usually, brands will organize campaigns to encourage customers to create content. A typical example is Apple's Shot on iPhone campaign. Apple encouraged customers to take photos and videos on iPhones, then post them on social media with the hashtag number #ShotOnlyPhone. The ones that went viral were chosen by Apple to become official ads. The campaign was so successful that it even became a meme format, Shot on iPhone. Continuity marketing. This is about creating service packages for customers where the product keeps being provided until the customer cancels. Simply put, it's membership programs, loyalty points, and rewards. For example, the coffee house has a subscription where you can register to get coffee every day. This strategy helps improve customer retention and creates stable revenue for the business. Cross-merchandising, a way of displaying products where related items are placed together. For example, toothpaste placed next to toothbrushes, bread next to condensed milk, or shirts near ties. Fast food chains also use this method to design combos like hamburgers paired with fries and a soda. Direct marketing, direct advertising. Brands send ads straight to potential customers instead of broadcasting widely. Usually this is through SMS, phone calls, or email. Drip marketing. Instead of running one big campaign, the advertising is delivered in small, continuous bursts. For example, e-commerce apps. You download the app and get a few discount codes. Then every now and then they keep sending you notifications about new deals. FUD, short for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's a marketing tactic that creates worry, insecurity, or suspicion to push customers to act in the brand's favor. For example, insurance companies often use images of accidents or illnesses to remind people of the risks if they don't buy insurance. Or, Apple often leverages fears about Android's lack of security to convince people to switch to its own products. And that's all the marketing tactics I could find. Honestly, the names might sound fancy, but when explained, I'm sure everyone recognizes them because they're all around us in everyday life. Some of the more technical ones I might not have explained perfectly, so if you spot anything off, feel free to leave a comment below, all in good fun. And don't forget to subscribe to help us reach 1 million subs. Goodbye, and see you next time.